We are talking with veterinarian Dr. Heidi Napier. One pest, Heidi, that a lot of people are concerned about that affects their dogs and cats, especially if they have property, and I'm sure up in the foothills it's a big problem as well, are ticks. And we got a question from Tracy, who writes in, we have no weeds, but we have evening primrose. Our dogs like to run under and through the shrubbery along the house. We have found numerous ticks on our dogs so far this year. How can we safely get rid of the ticks in our yard? Or does it come down to, remove the shrubbery or something?
Well, you can't get rid of ticks in the environment unless you had an enclosed, kennel or building or something like that. But ticks are very, very mobile. Wild animals carry them. And so in the environment, you really cannot get rid of them. What you have to do is protect yourself and your dog and cat against them. There are a lot of tick control products on the market for dogs. Frontline, and that is a spot-on product. It is available for cats and dogs. It works for fleas and ticks. It's the only safe, effective product for cats.
And if you weren't listening to us in the last segment, Heidi had mentioned that the active ingredient permethrin, which can be found in some flea control products, it'll work on dogs, but can be very hazardous to cats. So I'm imagining that the active ingredient in Frontline is not permethrin.
That's correct. It's fipronil, which is it's absorbed into the skin, and it kills ticks and fleas. You do have to use it once a month, and it's not cheap.
Now, a lot of people probably know how to control fleas inside the house. I mean, if they dare, they can use those flea bombs and also vacuuming and cleaning and
yes.
A lot of laundry. But in the yard, how do you control fleas?
I would call an exterminator. I would rather not. If the fleas are that bad that you cannot control them with a topical on the dog or the cat, then I would call an exterminator, because I would personally hesitate to go spraying around the insecticides that are toxic enough to kill all the fleas in the lawn and in the bark chips. I would want somebody to do it who is licensed, who knows what they're doing, and measures correctly and all that. And so that's what I would do. Usually in the Sacramento foothill area, fleas are not that bad that you cannot control them by just using a topical product on the animal. But you do have to use it religiously, absolutely religiously, once a month. And if you have several animals in the house, you've got to treat them all.
We touched on metaldehyde as being very problematic for dogs and cats. Let's expand on that a little bit. Metaldehyde is basically found in a lot of snail and slug-killing products. Fortunately, there's newer products that contain iron phosphate, which is non-toxic.
Yes.
But metaldehyde is popular with a lot of gardeners because they can see the dead snails die right in front of them. But you've probably heard the horror stories. I've heard the horror stories of people putting down products which contain metaldehyde, but the scent of it is also very attractive to cats and dogs. And you hear stories of after just laying down that line of snail bait that they turn around and there's their dog or cat lapping up that line.
Right. Now, actually, I have never seen metaldehyde poisoning in a cat, and that is because cats don't eat things indiscriminately like dogs do. But dogs, I have seen dogs eat the dirt that the metaldehyde was sprinkled on because they like the taste of it so much. So, what happened was I saw a dog with metaldehyde poisoning. We treated it. We told the owners get rid of the metaldehyde. So what they did, instead of scraping it up and taking it away, they mixed it in with the soil. Well, the dog went home and the next day ate the soil, came right back the next day with metaldehyde poisoning again. And the symptoms of that are really uncontrollable tremors, just to the point of almost seizures. It's kind of a difficult poisoning to treat. But like I said, I don't see it as much as I used to before the advent of iron phosphate.
Yeah, we should point out again and reemphasize that you won't find any product named metaldehyde. Metaldehyde is the active ingredient in a lot of popular snail killers. And if you have dogs especially, don't use those products.
Exactly.